It's Monday, February 13th, 2017. This is PSN News. Penn State is gearing up for THON 2017, and we have a special guest with us here in the studio.
We'll also be bringing you the latest updates on the Penn State IFC social suspension. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Maddie Biertempel.
And I'm Kaytie Barry. Following the death of Penn State student Timothy Piazza at the Beta Theta Pi fraternity house earlier this month, Beta Theta Pi's THON dancers are no longer permitted to dance in THON 2017. Since the fraternity was suspended, they are no longer recognized as an active THON organization. The Penn State Interfraternity Council and Vice President for Student Affairs Damon Sims have also suspended all social functions for IFC chapters. The suspension will continue while the university works with Greek life and community leaders to establish changes to social policies. The IFC and Sims define a social function as any activity sponsored by a chapter where alcohol is present. Violations of the suspension will result in further disciplinary action for the chapters and a potential loss of university recognition. The annual State of State Conference took place this weekend in the Hub. PSN News reporter Laura McKinney was there and has all the details.
On Saturday, Penn State hosted the annual State of State Conference. Over 100 students, faculty, and community members were in attendance. The first segment focused on community responsibility. Speakers in this segment spoke about what it means to live in the State College community and gave the audience ideas and advice. Madeline Strasser and Will Quadranta talked about relations between students and the local residents from an IFC and Pan-Hellenic perspective. Also, student body president Terry Ford spoke and pushed students to get more involved in local government. Freshman Ben Cutler said he really enjoyed the first segment of speakers.
I've really enjoyed it. I liked both the first set of speakers as well as the second set. I really liked the civic engagement part. That's a lot of what we do in UPUA, and I didn't know a lot about it. So it was really interesting to hear about the Highlands and zoning. Terry did a great job speaking about different things.
The theme for the second segment was sustainability. Doug Goldstein, who works with the Institute of Student Affairs, kicked off the segment talking about recycling habits and how it relates to sustainability for the future. University Park Undergraduate Association Vice President Kaytie Jordan touched on how she felt about the State of State Conference.
I think State of State is a great opportunity for students to engage in a dialogue that's not had every day. There are a lot of interesting issues that are brought up. There are a lot of new ideas brought up as well that I think is really essential for students to learn about. I also think it's an outside of the classroom opportunity that we can have with community members, which is really great and something that is unique to Penn State.
Moving into the afternoon, the third and final segment focused on serving the Penn State community. Senior Maria Walls closed out the event speaking about making large campuses, such as Penn State, more accessible to students with disabilities. Reporting for PSN News, I'm Laura McKinney.
A candlelight vigil for Penn State student Timothy Piazza was held last night on the Old Main lawn. The Daily Collegian reported that a crowd of about 400 students gathered on the lawn to celebrate his life. Members of Piazza's family, his friends, and his THON organizations, Operations, and IUTA spoke about his life and the things he did during his time at Penn State. Many mentioned his dedication to THON and his bright personality. Piazza's family provided flowers and free wristbands for attendees. Piazza's brother said that his kidneys were donated to save a man in his late 40s. Piazza's father asked students to be smart and always help one another. THON 2017 is right around the corner, and THON dancers and volunteers are prepping for the big weekend ahead by staying active. PSN News reporter Arlene Braulio has the story.
Penn State's THON has become one of the university's largest traditions. This 46-hour no-sit, no-sleep dance marathon raises money for pediatric cancer. The Saturday before THON, Penn State Fitness organized a yoga fundraiser to donate all the proceeds towards the cause. The instructors hoped the class would be beneficial physically to those participating in the dance marathon.
Everyone there was there for a reason to stretch and just really mentally prepare for this coming weekend. For the 46 hours, they were going to be on their feet.
There was a good turnout with 30 patrons attending the 45-minute class in the intramural building.
Especially with it being so close to THON, we're able to show some people some new stretches, hopefully that they can use throughout the weekend to stay loose and stay feeling good. So it was fun. It's fun to bring together THON and fitness.
Dancing in THON takes a lot of courage and determination. With this in mind, dancers found and shared their motivation for the upcoming weekend.
There was a period in the session where you got to think about the one person that you were THONing for. And the entire time, the person that came to my mind was the mother of my THON child, because he's only 3, so he doesn't have the awareness of what's going on.
Many of those who attended are dancers for the upcoming weekend. They came into the class looking to relax and have a final stretch before the long-anticipated weekend. Overall, all the dancers enjoyed the event since it benefited themselves and at the same time raised funds for THON. Whether they were dancers or not, patrons enjoyed their time in the class. Kaytie told me about her experience.
And I also think it was great because, well, we got to reflect and stretch and take care of ourselves. We also got to raise money for THON, so it's just an amazing event.
THON 2017 will take place the 17th through the 19th at the BJC. Reporting for PSN News, I'm Arlene Braulio.
Students gathered in front of the Allen Street gates last Thursday afternoon, holding up signs to protest Trump's recent immigration ban. The Lambda Sigma Upsilon Multicultural Fraternity organized the rally, while members from many other multicultural and Greek organizations also participated. The fraternity's national board organized the rally across campuses nationwide to show the direct impact of the immigration ban. The group said it hoped the rally would spread awareness and motivate people to do more than just accept the ban. The protesters marched toward the hub chanting, "No ban, no wall, freedom for all," while bystanders clapped and captured the moment on their cell phones. The rally came to an end at the Allen Street gates while attendees held hands during closing remarks. The Penn State African American Music Festival wrapped up its weekend of performances at the Worship Hall of the Pascagoula Spiritual Center. PSN News reporter Odessa Meredith has the story.
Saturday marked the end of the African American Music Festival. To close it, School of Music's Essence of Joy Choir performed a variety of songs. Audience member Lina Hood found out about Essence of Joy through students she knows in the group.
They cover a number of different things, I think. A lot of it tends to be things that we know and would remember. It's just a most enjoyable program. I've not been to one that we haven't enjoyed.
The choir's music focuses on the African American tradition, performing spiritual and gospel music. However, the group does not identify as a gospel choir. Junior music education major and performer Sarah Horner said she joined the group last year.
We are really a family, a close-knit community. We do a lot of traveling, and we sing at churches. We sing at lots of different community events on campus.
Reporting for PSN News, I'm Odessa Meredith.
Penn State President Eric Barron spoke to a group of professors and administrators about the All In campaign and issues of free speech on Friday. He said while All In has been successful since launching in October, more can be done to improve diversity and inclusion on campus. Barron also commented on how the university should respond when a controversial speaker presents ideas that contradict the university's values. According to Barron, Penn State dodged a serious bullet when Breitbart journalist Milo Yiannopoulos' speaking engagement was canceled in November. Despite disliking Yiannopoulos' message, Barron said the only way to counter hate speech is with more speech. Coming up next, Kelsey Mchugh will bring you the latest sports news. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Kelsey Mchugh with your sports update. It was an exciting weekend here in Happy Valley with many wins all around, with one coming from Penn State men's basketball team beating Illinois 83-70. Head coach Pat Chambers said that playing Illinois is always a battle. This was the first time the Nittany Lions have won in Champaign since the 2008-2009 season. Junior Peyton Banks tied his career high with 24 points. This was his fourth 20-point game this season and 6th overall. The Nittany Lions face off against Nebraska tomorrow in an away game. The Penn State women's hockey team had a big weekend, beating Lindenwood 4-1 on Friday and shutting them out 2-0 on Saturday. On Friday, three Nittany Lions found the back of the net. Seniors Laura Bowman had 2 points, while sophomore McKee Mueller and Sarah Nielsen each had 1 point. On Saturday, the Nittany Lions found the back of the net within the first 44 minutes of the game. Peterson and Allie Hardy scored with 24 seconds of each other. This game gave Peterson her 13th goal of the season, and 99th career point. The Nittany Lions' next series is against number 8 Robert Morris on this weekend on their final away game for the regular season. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Miami Heat 117-109 on Saturday. This win broke the Heat's 13th win streak. The 76ers were without key players Joel Embiid and Jahlil Okafor, but that didn't stop other players from stepping up. Nerlens Noel, Robert Covington, and Dario Saric each scored 19 points to help lead Philadelphia to victory. The 76ers' next game is against the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte, North Carolina on Monday night. And we'll be right back after the break.
Hello and welcome back to PSN News. THON 2017 is this weekend, and we have Executive Director Austin Sommerer here with us tonight. Thanks so much for being here, Austin.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So can you give us some insight into what the line dance is going to be like, or maybe some sneak peeks of what to expect for THON?
So I can't give you some sneak peeks, but I know there was an article written recently that suggested or guessed at some of the ideas, and they had some very good guesses. So we actually just had our first public line dance teaching tonight for the captains and committee members. So it's very exciting. It's very good this year. I'm excited for everyone to see it.
So we'll just have to wait and see?
You will just have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, THON is changing, obviously, especially phasing out the canning weekends in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us how do you expect this phasing out of canning to affect THON in the future?
Sure. I don't expect it to affect THON weekend at all. Kind of the way I've seen it affecting THON as a community this year, it's been really positive. I've seen a lot of opportunity for organizations to find fundraisers or engagement techniques that really fit their population, which is different than kind of the cookie cutter fundraising model we've had in the past. Having this phase out has allowed organizations to have the opportunity to kind of adapt to this change, to adapt to the way that they get their volunteers involved, to adapt to the way they fundraise or talk to their donors. And it's been really exciting to see how THON is progressing as we take these resources that we used to put into canning and put them elsewhere. So I'm very excited to see how THON grows into the future.
So what new type of fundraising events do you hope to see in the future?
Sure, I think there's a mixture of a lot of things. I think that's one of the reasons why THON has been so successful for so many years. For one, as a kind of a general blanket thing, is we're looking at new online giving softwares. So whether that be peer-to-peer platforms, crowdfunding sites, different kinds of apps and technologies that encourage people to donate and kind of get them engaged while doing so. We've also seen a lot of organizations find innovative and exciting fundraisers that are specific to their organization. For example, the club cross-country teams does Miles for Smiles, where their organization members run 46 hours straight to see how many miles they can run, and it turns into a donation. So that's a great way to engage their population, which is obviously runners, and it's obviously a great way to raise money as well. So seeing more innovative and exciting fundraisers like that has been really great.
Right. So what is it like for you as the executive director to really see all of this come together this weekend?
It's bizarre. I started my journey 2 weeks after THON last year, so it was a quick turnaround, and now to think that I was once there and now we're here just a few days out is really surreal. That week before THON is always kind of that very strained, there's something in the air kind of attitude going around campus, and it's just the same this year, which is really exciting. I'm very excited to get to the BJC Friday morning, but it's awesome for me to kind of see what the community has done this year, kind of to see how we've taken challenges, faced them head on, and really been able to be successful with them.
And now we all know that THON is for the kids, but what do you hope that these kids will be able to take away or remember from this weekend?
Sure. Just like any other weekend, I hope that cancer is taken out of that room. I think that's one of the most magical things about THON weekend is that people forget that they are surrounded by children with cancer, or the children with cancer forget that they are there because of their diagnosis. And the ability to support the families and their brothers and sisters and parents and friends. I think that's what the magic of THON is all about. So I hope that while they're there, they don't remember their diagnosis, they don't remember why they're actually there. But they know, or they're able to recognize the amount of support coming from all areas of the BJC.
Now, we know there's going to be about 700 dancers who are going to be on their feet for 46 hours. Can you walk me through what that commitment means to the Penn State community and THON, and maybe how these dancers are going to be, out there for 46 hours?
Absolutely. The prepping for dancing, I know, for a lot of people starts at the beginning of February. So they're about 3 weeks in, getting ready, whether that be kind of changing up their stretching and exercise routine or starting to eat healthy. Making sure that they're getting their bodies prepared and their minds prepared is the most important thing. Obviously, we have the Dancer Relations Committee as well, who is with them side by side all weekend, making sure they're getting the food they need, the medication they need, making them stay active and involved and engaged to make sure that they're enjoying their time. But I think that their standing really represents the fight that these children are going through, and it's an awesome way for students at Penn State to kind of show their support of these families and like I said, represent the fight that they're going through.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being
Absolutely.
here, Austin, and good luck this weekend.
Thank
we look
you.
forward to seeing how THON does. And we'll be back with a national news update right after the break. Welcome back. We're here with the national news headlines. Newly appointed Education Secretary Betsy DeVos had a run-in with protesters when she tried to enter a Washington public school last Friday morning. Unable to enter, DeVos turned around and left the middle school. Some protesters shouted she was not welcome there. DeVos later said in a statement she eventually got into the students and faculty. Local Washington news station WJLA reported the Washington Teachers Union had organized the protest, but the union members weren't the ones who had blocked DeVos. After the protest, many tweeted their support for DeVos, including Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, Randy Weingarten, and even former Education Secretary Arne Duncan.
President Donald Trump's national security advisor, Michael Flynn, is currently under investigation following allegations that he discussed U.S. sanctions against Russia with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak prior to Trump's inauguration. Several sources, including Vice President Mike Pence and Russian President Vladimir Putin, have confirmed the timing of these phone calls. However, many have denied Flynn and Kislyak ever discussing the sanctions. Several Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee are calling for Flynn's suspension, including Representative Adam Schiff of California. He said if the allegations turn out to be true, Flynn shouldn't be allowed to serve in the Trump administration or any other administration. U.S. authorities will continue to investigate the allegations, but have yet to find clear evidence of wrongdoing.
3 federal judges ruled last Thursday to uphold a lower court decision that blocks the enforcement of President Trump's recent immigration order. Trump criticized the decision, tweeting he would see them in court and that the security of the nation is at risk. The ruling didn't focus too much on the constitutionality of the ban itself. Instead, it emphasized whether or not the temporary restraining order on the ban was justified. The federal judges who blocked the order said it violates the First Amendment's religious freedom protections and the 14th Amendment's equal protection guarantee. The court ruled that these arguments had enough standing to bring the lawsuit against the federal government. The next step may be an appeal to the Supreme Court.
Trump reaffirmed the United States' commitment to the One China policy after his first conversation with Chinese President Xi Jinping since his inauguration. President Trump recently created a diplomatic firestorm after a short phone call with Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen in December. This is the first time the U.S. and China relations have been in jeopardy since 1979, following the U.S. acknowledgement of the One China policy. The policy states that both Taiwan and China are inalienable parts of a single China. The U.S. maintains unofficial ties with Taiwan, but there have been no formal visits or conversations until Trump's phone call with Ing-wen.
And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter at PSN News. Thank you for joining us.